Well, it's a long game, a lot of fouls. I think our team showed a lot of, one thing we definitely have is some toughness and some grittiness to us. And, you know, after we spotted them with the 10-0 run to start the game, I thought our kids really started to step up and understand what we needed to do. But I knew coming in this was going to be a really difficult game. I felt like they were going to, you know, from film, I felt like they were probably the best team that we would have probably faced so far. Just their style of play, very athletic. They averaged 9 made threes a game, so we really had to guard them at the three-point line. They do a great job on the boards. I mean, just, you guys saw it, just the tempo that they make you play at, forcing turnovers and just super aggressive. It was a great challenge for us. I wish we could have controlled a few more things on our end to make it not, you know, as difficult, but I thought we did a good job trying to figure out as well, not being in an ideal situation, having to navigate foul trouble with some key players for, it felt like most of the game. So just pleased with our kids coming away with another win and protecting home floor, and just showed a lot of toughness and a lot of grit.
For Wayne to kind of have a career high without really scoring in the first quarter, I mean, she kind of did all her damage in the second and fourth. Just you kind of see that there was opportunity there for her to score when she was in the game.
Yeah, no question. You know, I think one of the things we kept trying to emphasize and talk about, especially out of halftime, was just once we could break the press, they often had a smaller guard down there. And if we could get down and get her the ball before they were able to switch their matchups, that was ideal for us. We ran some stuff for her coming out of halftime and tried to make it a point of emphasis, and she did a good job getting position, securing it, and then finishing around the rim. You know, if she's probably frustrated with herself, but she would have hit her free throw, she would have had 30. You know, a career high of 21 tonight. She could have hit 30. But no, I thought she had a really good second half.
When the girls started to close in, it looked like they were really confident beyond the arc. What was kind of the plan of action with the girls when it came to those triples?
Well, honestly, you know, really the whole key was we started breaking the press. You know, initially they were sending, it's just a run and jump, sending 2 at the ball handler. We, you know, the first, obviously spotted them 10-0, couldn't even get the ball over half court. And so once we were able to kind of get it out of their hands and get it to the middle of the floor, you know, we were running numbers. So we felt like, you know, that would be an advantage. And, you know, our focus at that point is to get layups and threes. And, you know, we were able to spread the floor and spot up. And, you know, Nyla hits 1, CP hit 2. I think we had maybe 1 more in there. I don't know if Zoe hit 1 in that stretch. But I mean, that ended up being a huge difference maker. Just the way we came out and shot the ball in that stretch.
And, you know, how you probably tell the girls kind of power through a game like this, because 52 fouls, 39 turnovers, it's a choppy game. That was probably the tempo was kind of set early. So what do you got to tell play through that?
I mean, we expected it. We knew it was their style of play. I didn't think there'd be 52 fouls called. You know, you don't necessarily plan on that, but you know, it's just a very physical game. You know, very up tempo. You know, you just felt like you'd never really get in a rhythm. So, you know, I think that one stretch that you mentioned, finally we felt like we were getting a rhythm, but we were breaking the press. You know, once we figured out kind of how to handle it, and but that's the clock kind of ticked quick enough. You know, I just kept looking up, and it just, you know, it just seemed to be holding, especially with kids in foul trouble. We just wanted that clock to run, but you know, it's one of those games. It's kind of their style of play. They take you out of what you want to try to do and try to get you out of rhythm and cause the turnovers and things like that. And but I thought once we kind of, I never really felt like we settled in, but I definitely thought we had some stretches where we kind of got control of it and did settle in to an extent to find mismatches inside and take advantage of it. You know, I don't know, what were we from the free throw line here? Yeah, I mean, we shot 35 free throws, did a pretty good job. You know, knocking some shots down, making them pay. Obviously, wish we would have hit a few more, but we made more than they attempted, so that's positive.
How did this game kind of transpire? I know they're coaches from Springfield, so how did the game kind of come together?
Honestly, it was late in, I don't know, it was probably late in I think it was into the summer, early summer. It's just really hard to schedule and find games, especially to get teams that are willing to come play you here. And so honestly, you know, you're posting on the on the websites and trying to see, not only who needs games, but the next hardest thing is who has the open dates that you have. And we had a ton of road games, really needed a home game, just called Hannah, we connected, and I think she looked at it as a good opportunity to come back here. And we couldn't afford to have another road game, to be honest. So I first met her when I got here, when I took the job. She was a junior college coach, recruited one of her players, India Green, who then came and played for us last 2 years and then went and played with her. So I've known her since I got here a little bit, and thankful that they were willing to go on the road and come play. And like I said, we badly needed a home game, and the dates worked out. You get late into the summer, and at that point, you're not too picky about home or away. You're just trying to get dates that fit and match. So that's kind of how it transpired.
And how does it feel like, 5-0, and there's so many question marks going into the year, new pieces, and if you 5-0, it's got to be a pretty nice feeling.
I really haven't thought too much about it. I feel like we have so much room to grow that really remains the focus. And I told our team we'd always rather learn from winning than from losing. And we've been in, all these games have been close. They've all been tough games. It's deceiving if you look at our UTA game on the road. We ended up winning by 20, but that was a really good team and a tough, gritty win on the road. And I think we're learning a lot about each other in a lot of different kind of moments that continues to build that foundation and build that trust amongst each other on the court. And there's no substitute for the experience of playing together. And so, just kind of keep building the foundation and keep plugging away. And been really proud of where our defense has been. Our defense has really won games for us, and our offense will continue to come along. But I feel like we have a huge upside from here. I think, our best days are still ahead of us.
To kind of bounce off of what you previously said, with all these new faces, how important is it to have a home game, especially before this stretch on the road again?
I mean, as a coach, you want as many home games as possible, and it's tough to get them. Obviously we had our home opener. I feel like we've been on the road forever. So, and then on top of it, I feel like, we really haven't had a whole lot of practice time. I think that's probably been the toughest thing is every 3 days we're playing. I think since we started, and so I just wish we had a little bit more time to practice to really work on some things. All these games have really been kind of one-day prep where we really have one real practice just because, you're coming off of traveling, a lot of minutes for kids. Usually day after a game we handle it with a lot of film, more mental preparation, kind of closing out this game, and then we'll usually take the next day off, and then you turn around and you're one day before you're playing again, and that's going to have to be the routine again here with Tulsa. I was a little bit jealous with Georgia Southern coming in. They haven't played in 9 days, so you feel like they've been working on us for 9 days. But we're learning a lot in the moments, which is really valuable for our kids.